Hi, I'm Stuart J. Raj,
Wimintra
and this is South by
Southeast.
5 things I hate about living in Southeast Asia.
So, okay, hate is a strong word. Mine is going to be 5 things I don't like about Southeast Asia.
Yeah, and I think that's safer. And Thailand, because we live in Thailand, but we travel around Southeast Asia a lot.
Okay, so last time I started it, now I'll let you go first.
Thank you. Now, please note here that I had to think hard for these.
Yeah, no, me too.
And because there are actually many, many more of the 5 that I love. If you missed that, look at the clip from last week. So the first thing that I hate or I strongly dislike about living in Southeast Asia,
Yeah.
sweat.
Okay.
Because of the heat, and sweat influences everything. So everything from, you can't, in Hong Kong when you're walking around there, and if it's not too hot, say, in the cooler months, you can walk a whole day and not break a sweat. Here we can't go out without breaking a sweat. You remember when you did a fashion show not too long ago, we were outside, the fashion show was outside, we were dripping within a few minutes at the Philippine one.
Yeah.
And we were all just dripping sweat. So sweat governs everything. Get one of those t-shirts if you don't want to sweat, and you can wear a suit and not sweat. Don't ever walk out with a cotton shirt on without an undershirt if you don't want to sweat.
I don't wear an undershirt.
You don't. Your clothes are different, but for a guy, you need
why
that.
What is the difference? I wear a suit
all
the time.
Yeah, but you sweat differently too. The other thing is that...
And so that is not the country or the region problem. It's you white people problem then.
Yeah, I would say that
so you can't
sweat and body odor is a thing. And it's amazing that many Thais don't have the same kind of body odor.
No.
Use deodorant, undershirts like this airflow, you don't see them under shirts, and you don't sweat.
Okay, so what I don't like about being in Southeast Asia is also similar to yours, which is weather. Because we seem to only have summer and rainy season.
Yep, and it's always hot.
And it's always hot. I mean, we could get winter in some part of Thailand, some part of Indonesia. In Singapore, it's never, I don't think it has ever been.
Yeah, when we say winter, people laugh.
Winter.
And actual cool days.
And it's not seasonal.
No.
So you don't get to wear winter clothes. You don't have spring. You don't have whatever come after that.
When you say it's not seasonal, it means we don't have the 4 seasons.
No.
So they say we have the rainy season, the dry season, the wet, but they're all hot.
Yeah. So it's that's what I don't like. Like in Hong Kong, you get, September, it's kind of humid, it's hot, but then in October, November, until January, it's still nice, and you get to wear winter clothes, and I kind of like that. And I don't understand, I remember the last video, I think someone commented, Eric, I guess, said that he, what he liked about Southeast Asia is weather. And I was like, what? Why?
You remember when we were
coming from a cold country, you need a little bit of shade.
We were in France for our wedding. In the middle of winter, it was like 1 degree, but it was like heaven. Even though it was overcast, we could wear good clothes, and it was beautiful. People saying, you're crazy going in winter. We loved it. Okay, number 2, you shoot.
Okay, my number 2 is, I think, the lack of art performances.
Okay.
Kind of, we don't have enough of those activities. I guess we have art galleries and so on, but it's not in our culture where we actually dress up going to see a concert or, opera. Okay, we don't have opera, but even Ligue, people don't dress up to go see Ligue, or Chinese opera, Broadway, which I think we could do more of that.
Remember when we went to see West Side Story? We stood up to give a round of applause, and everyone told us to sit down.
Yeah, they just don't know the culture, and people just wear just not appropriate clothes for those kind of shows.
Yeah,
Which I think we need more of that. It doesn't need to be a Western performances. It doesn't need to be ballet. We didn't grow up with ballet. But, you know, like with the Cone, we used to have the Joe Louis Theater, and now we don't have it anymore. I actually enjoyed it a lot. And I thought it could be something that, you know, not just for tourists, it could be something for everyone.
Yeah.
And even Chinese opera.
I think we're getting more overseas concerts coming in, and with the new centers going to be opening up over the coming years, we probably will.
Yeah, but those are the concerts like with the DJs and shit like that. It's not. It's not culture. I mean, it's part of the culture, but it's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, the old school.
Okay, my second gripe about Southeast Asia, and this is like in our neighborhood, but also Indonesia and around, maybe not Singapore, but footpaths. Vietnam. You know, footpaths are basically, they're non-existent. I actually coined the term brick flick because you're walking down the footpath and it might look dry and bang, all of this rancid water will splash up. You don't know what diseases you're going to get. You got hit by a car, well, sort of knocked off a car the other day onto the footpath when you're on a motorbike.
Yeah.
Footpaths are dangerous. Pedestrians basically don't get any say. And just in general, they're neglected. There are rats running around. They smell. People that's Thai. People spill rancid water from the street carts and things in it, and they stink.
And usually you don't have to ride over the footpath because usually someone sells stuff on the pavement anyway, so you end up walking on the road.
Footpaths. Vietnam's the same. You know, like I've walked way through Hanoi and even Ho Chi Minh, and sometimes you get to a point where you've just got to basically walk in the traffic. Even there might be a sliver of a path, but footpaths are sort of like a secondary thing in this part of the world. Maybe not Singapore.
Definitely not. I'm trying to think. Yeah, definitely not in Singapore.
Okay, so footpaths. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is, I guess, dirtiness, especially public toilets.
Okay.
Because, you know, like the whole, like, squatting in the bathroom thing.
Okay.
That one that I don't like, and just the wet floor and wet everything. It's bad here, and also it's also bad in Malaysia because they use the spray even in a public toilet, like in shopping mall, for example.
Yeah.
Like even here in the household, you have this spray, right? But we don't provide that in, say, shopping mall because for sure people will just make a mess. But then in I guess I remember in KL they do that in like airport toilets, shopping malls.
It's not saying a sprayer is bad, but it's just that they spray it everywhere. Like we need a sprayer.
Like it's toilets not great. Again, except for Singapore.
Yeah, but then you go into some malls like Terminal 21 and you get some super toilets here.
Shopping malls in Thailand is very good.
Oh,
we've done very well in you know, even Indonesia.
Yeah.
In the shopping mall, but outside that's
cleaner than what we saw in the US.
But Vietnam kind of not really, but yeah.
Okay, cleanliness. Okay, so I'm up to number 3.
Yeah.
For me, scams.
Okay.
You have to be super aware and alert all the time. There's scams in everything that could come by your way, just from walking out on the street to taxis to people in the street, but then also in business. And because of the nature of this, you get people from all over the world. You get some great people, but you also get some questionable people that set up shop in Southeast Asia. And it might look like a legitimate business, and then you realize it's a scam. So because of scams, you have to always be on your toes.
And it makes it look bad for everyone.
It does.
Yeah.
And not everything is a scam, but like I think scams just ruin it for people. And when I say scams too, maybe it goes through to the whole thing where it's just accepted that things might be scammy, and so infrastructure loses out, or people might get tenders and they can't do it for the price that they've set it, or they don't use the money that was supposed to be there, and they'll just put like 1 escalator in instead of 10.
Yeah.
You know, so scams on many different levels mean we miss out.
To sum that up, it's probably like corruption.
I didn't want to use that word,
but
it is very prevalent.
Okay.
Okay,
so
what's yours?
Number for is traffic.
Yes.
It's really bad everywhere. I mean, like every time when we go to Singapore and you ask taxi driver to take you somewhere and he said, oh, traffic gonna be bad. And you're like, okay, how bad can it be? And he's never actually like, when they said, in Singapore, when they said they have traffic, it's like, come on.
That's
nothing. That's nothing.
Yeah.
Compared to Indonesia, Jakarta, or Bangkok, or just in my soy, in Soy 11 alone.
We sat for 2 hours the other day to travel less than a kilometer, I think.
Yeah, and it's just from like the main road to the house. The other day was 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and
So
why
traffic,
didn't we walk?
Because we can't. Where do we
No,
walk?
especially where we were when it was raining, and two, because your state.
We can't
Yeah.
walk. I just don't want to walk. And I guess Vietnam is the same with traffic. Ho Chi Minh City, Malaysia could be bad too.
Yep.
Philippines, never spent
Traffic
too much
sucks.
time, but South
Though,
traffic, yeah.
If you give, even though Bangkok traffic is horrible, I think the worst for me personally is Jakarta.
Yeah, I know, because you can't really get out and get on a motorbike or MRT or BTS. You actually stuck.
At least here in Bangkok, if I really want to sacrifice maybe my safety, but I can get anywhere in about 15 to 20 minutes. Get on a bike, run out and make connections or whatever. You can zip through traffic if you're willing.
Yeah.
Jakarta, you're just bang, and sometimes you just cannot move even on a motorbike. Anyway,
And
traffic
you don't
sucks.
you don't want to get on.
Yeah. Okay, number 4 for me is bureaucracy. Now, there's bureaucracy in every country, but I'll just give you a few examples, and you ask why, and there's no explanation. For example, one, bank books. Bank books in Thailand, they've just introduced it recently in one bank, say SEB, where you don't have to, and I switched mine to it.
They have stopped that.
But if you go and apply for anything, they'll say, can we please see the front page of your bank book? And I say, I don't have one because I use the new style, and they say, sorry, then you can't apply for this.
Which is the front page of it is actually your name and the bank name.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And so bank books, and then if you lose your bank book, you have to go to the police station to report it and do an official report saying it's lost before you can go and do anything. And the bank book in Thailand is needed for everything, which is absolutely crazy. I remember a bank book from maybe 1980 when I was in kindergarten. I had like a school banking book, and after that, no one used them.
Yeah.
So anyway, other things are like checks. People still here use checks for everything.
All the time.
And if the signature is not right, they won't do it.
Until I found out from my accountant that actually, apart from the bank, deduct from the person I gave the check to.
They charge the check.
Yeah, deduct from me too.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And house registration. So every single person has to be in somebody's house registration.
But I think that's the French does too.
I heard the French do it too, but like in
Yeah.
Australia, for example, if you move somewhere, you have to, if you don't own the house, you have to stay in your family's house registration or somewhere that's going to register you.
You need to belong somewhere.
That they can track you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so even for Thais, not just foreigners, Thais are the same. So, and Indonesia is similar, you have your registration. So this bureaucracy sometimes is just like, it limits things. Okay, number 5, last one.
Last word for me is probably the work ethic and the work attitude.
Okay.
Like the whole sabay and we'll get it done when we get it done, and why are you screaming at me? Why do you want it now? Why do I have to come on time? Why do I have to do this? And a whole bunch of the nonsense that you mentioned, all the paper and stuff like that. I just think
But you're different from many people too. Like
crazy.
your punctuality, if there's a meeting at 10, you'll be there at 20 to 10. If somebody's at 10 past 10, you walk.
And because it's not only that, like, okay, the amount of the paperwork that you have to do just for one little thing, it's crazy. I could have used that time. I could have spent that time doing something else. And not only in Thailand, we used to have a client in Vietnam, and that's also bad because you need to actually be there, present your pizza paper, and then stamp, and it's like crazy.
And in Indonesia, it's the same with time too.
Southeast Asia is probably the same because I have clients outside of Southeast Asia. For example, in Singapore, it's totally,
Singapore is on time.
I don't have problem getting paid or paying money. super easy.
Hong Kong too.
Hong Kong
So that's
too.
not Southeast
we have,
Asia.
but it's still in Asia.
Yeah.
But we have claim, in Hong Kong and no,
Have
it
issues
has
in
been-
Malaysia though.
Malaysia, have that one. Vietnam, and it's just crazy. I just don't.
Yeah.
I think if we could change that and we could be a little more effective in the way we work.
The new generation's changing.
No, don't think so. They're
Okay.
actually slower than their fathers and mothers.
Okay, so you heard it. I did not say that. This is coming from Miss Wimintra's mouth. Okay, for me, the last one is, I've called it Sen trumps law. Sen is basically your network, who you know, what you know. In Chinese, we call it 关系. Indonesia is the same, but basically, law is a flexible thing, and if you know somebody in the right place, you can...
Why didn't you like it? I thought you liked it from the last video. You said you kind of like that.
Things
flexibility.
okay.
Oh, I said it. I liked
you
it.
said,
Yeah,
and the flexibility sometimes is good, but sometimes it's bad, which basically means, one, if you are legally justified to do something, but you can be really screwed. So you're constantly trying to look after your sen or your network rather than making sure you do things legally. Because doing something illegal is not as bad for you as doing something that can ruin a relationship. That's one thing. The other thing we see is a lot of people will just be in what they call gia wang here. So you don't know who's going to be in power next, or you don't know what's going to happen. So people won't make any decisions that will make any real change, because tomorrow the opposition or somebody who can hurt them is going to be in power. So it's better not to make a decision.
Okay.
And so for me, the fact that often these relationships are more powerful than the law itself can really hurt us. Us meaning anybody doing business or living, And even so-called powerful people, today you might be powerful, but tomorrow you're not.
But that's life.
Yeah, but in some places though, I've been given sort of encouragement seeing that the rule of law can be applied to people equally, no matter how big you are. And that's something that is actually, it makes you feel a certain degree of security, which here there's zero security when it comes to law.
Here, as in this
Southeast Asia, well, here in Southeast Asia in general, if you piss the wrong person off, no matter, even if you did things totally legally, you could end up in jail.
Yeah, that's true.
Or worse. And so that's probably one thing. Not just saying Thailand, but right across this region, it's pretty much the same.
So you just need to know not to piss people off.
Yeah, so everything is relationships, and relationships trump law, I guess I'd say.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know what? If you know that for the fact, you can actually work your way around it.
Yeah, you can, and that's how you do business. That's how our business works, is trying to bridge those gaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still, it's
something that you don't like, but
it's inconvenient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you look at it, it could be advantage for a lot of people, and disadvantage is for people who don't know how to use it. But yep.
Okay, so there you go. 5 things from both our side that we strongly dislike about living in Southeast Asia, Thailand, Indonesia, Vietnam, wherever. Let us know yours. Let us know what you think. Leave comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode. I'm Stuart J. Raj.
Wimintra.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.